Welcome to the Lunch Lads podcast. Welcome everyone to the season 1 finale of the Lunch Lads podcast. That's right, we've come to the end of season 1, and for this last episode, we will be talking about the semifinals in the NHL Playoffs, and to end it off, we'll be talking about some basketball playoffs as well. So let's get it started. We have some news to disclose.
Breaking just now.
Yeah, just now. Well, when it comes out, it won't be just now, but just now, when we're recording it, Montreal coach Ducharme will not be on the bench today. He has COVID. So right away, are there any reactions to it, Noah or Giddy?
Well, as I sit here on Friday afternoon at 3:45 p.m., I see a tweet from Darren Dreger, TSN analyst, saying Ducharme will likely be sidelined for 10 days, which, besides the fact of just being out this game, 10 days is a long time. That is the rest of the series for sure, regardless of how long it goes. And that is just, if that's true, it's just a huge blow. Like, your head coach not being there for 10 games. He just got fully vaccinated, I believe, over 10 days ago, and I know it's supposed to be 2 weeks until it kicked in. And I'm sure, I wish him all the best. I'm sure he's going to be fine. But that being said, like, they don't have a head coach, and you're in the semifinals. I just sucks. But there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, I think there's an obvious thing for the NHL to do here. I think there's obviously a COVID outbreak on the Montreal Canadiens, and the Winnipeg Jets clearly did not deserve to make it to the next round. So I think that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be in the Stanley Cup semifinals. This is so exciting. I predicted this.
Yeah, maybe they'll just give them a cup and they won't even have to play just because they feel bad.
We deserve it. We deserve it.
That droug's pretty long.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm kind of a bandwagon here. I have a lot of teams in this playoffs now, I guess. But VGK, can't even get my words out. We lost. They lost. I'm not even a Knights fan, I would say. I'm just supporting them right now because I'll go on a little rant here. If you're a Canadian, I get that there hasn't been a cup here for a while. We've had this discussion a lot. I get there hasn't been a cup here for a while. And I get that this is hockey is our sport, the Canadian sport. But if you're a Leaf fan, you're not if you're cheering for the Canadians, I don't want to talk to you. You're not a Leaf fan if you're actually cheering for the Canadians. Do you actually care if Canada wins a cup? No, you want to be the team that brings the cup to Canada. That's our biggest rival. You really want them to win a cup? I don't know. I lose a ton of respect for any Leaf fan that's cheering for the Habs. And frankly, any Canadian that's cheering for the Habs, because they've been our rival all season. For everyone in the North Division, I would hate if they won the Stanley Cup. So I really don't see the case. Anyway, go Vegas. This is a big blow for the Habs. I wish Mr. Ducharme.
I disagree with that. If Winnipeg were to beat us, and
I wouldn't cheer for Winnipeg.
No, I have no hate against Winnipeg.
I don't
I think it's so different, Winnipeg and Montreal. Personally, if Winnipeg, obviously it would have sucked if Winnipeg were beat up, which they didn't. But I like Winnipeg, and I know everyone's built some rivalries this year, but these divisions aren't going to stick. And I probably would have cheered for Winnipeg because I just like Winnipeg. But I completely understand that if it was the Leafs and Habs have a way bigger rivalry than the Jets.
It's way different. So
it's way different than cheering for the Jets. I think if the Leafs were in the situation, I wouldn't be. I don't know if I would really be cheering so hard against them. Go.
I'm not cheering hard against you.
But I wouldn't be happy if they won. Not at all.
Yeah, look, last series against the Jets, I boycotted most of it, so I didn't really care what the result was.
We care so much.
Yeah, I'm just letting the viewers out there know. But I didn't really care who won that series. The Jets, they sucked. So I honestly couldn't care who won that series because I just don't like both teams. I hate the Habs more, and they also beat us, but I don't like both teams. But for this series, I know there's people out there that don't like them, but Vegas is Vegas is probably the team that like no one has a grudge against. They're kind of a likable team because like they've only been in the league for 4 years. They're like in their shiny gold
And
jerseys.
they made the semifinals 3 out of the first
No,
4
but like
years.
who hates
That's
them?
ridiculous.
Who hates them? Right? Like
How can you make the semifinals 3 out of your first 4 years? Also, I have one thing to add on to that. I might be mistaking the player, but I'm pretty sure sometime in this playoffs there was a little 5-minute thing on Nick Suzuki and his family. I think it was Nick Suzuki, and I'm pretty sure he's from London, Ontario, which is pretty close to Toronto.
yeah.
And he was saying that he's still sort of convincing some of his family members to not cheer for the Leafs and cheer for the Habs. And he is on the Habs.
That
So
shows.
That just shows how
Leafs
ridiculous.
blood, baby. You know, win, lose, or
But
tie.
it might be the wrong player, but I'm pretty sure it's Nick Suzuki.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
let's move on to the other than the cheering aspect, the actual hockey aspect of the game.
Ross,
So
all you need to do is cheer. So
yeah, just breaking down the series. Game 1 goes to Vegas. Game 2 goes to Montreal. The one thing that Vegas has struggled with throughout the season and into the playoffs is quick starts, and that's something Montreal has really jumped on.
I think Montreal has the most first period goals in the playoffs, or tied for the most. They have usually pretty good starts. And
yeah, I was gonna say, like, watching the first game, and I was gonna text you guys like as I was watching like the first couple like minutes, but I didn't want to give you guys.
I think if we scored there, we would have won the game.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to give you guys any happiness or anything. I'm like, Montreal looks really good. I'm like, they kind of look like
Really
I'm
good.
like, you know, a lot of speculation about the North Division, how we're the worst division. It's gonna be nothing like it if we play Vegas, Colorado, or something like that. And you guys were holding your own for the first. You were all over them, and then unfortunately they score. They get a nice goal, but like a lucky goal there, I would say, and that just swung the entire game. And I thought they were all over you for the rest of the game, which was unfortunate. And credit to you guys. Most teams would roll over after that because they would think, damn, like we felt like we were better than them for like a good part of that, but then they just kind of steamrolled us. But you guys came out there the next game and you were, I'd say, like, there was a little scare at the end, like they were coming back a little bit, but I thought that you controlled that game pretty well. And, Fleury, we were talking about this. No, he's a little shaky sometimes. Like, sometimes you just don't really understand what he's doing.
He had
on that Byron goal, like, I don't, like, it was like a very, like, crazy type of poke check. Like,
I think that was just a mental error. I mean, it could have easily worked, but I think if he just played it like a breakaway, he would have given himself a better chance.
Agreed.
And also, he's got to save the Toffoli goal. Nice pass, but he's got to save that.
Yeah. And you know what? That's two series in the playoffs where Paul Byron has scored on a breakaway from poke check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to throw out a little cliche here. And I know we don't like cliches, but it is just so important for the Habs to score the first goal. In the playoffs, I think they're 8 or 9-1 when they score the first goal, which is just crazy. And their only loss was in Game 2 against the Leafs. So that's like, feels like years ago already. But
yeah, it does.
But like it's so crucial that they score the first goal. So we're hoping they do it tonight in Game 3.
Because then they just clog up the middle. They run the 4 lines. They're a good defensive team with Deneau, Price, obviously.
Yeah, and
4 horsemen on the D. Like, it's
I actually completely agree with that. And also for Carey Price, I completely agree with that. If they get the lead, because then Carey Price is one of those goalies that he's like, he can see it in sight. He's like, all right, I have the lead right now. No more. I'm locking this down. And he's one of those goalies. He has that mentality I really admire from him. He's just like, he did it in Game 7 too against the Leafs. He's like, once you guys got out to a lead, he was just like, all right, that's it. Nothing's going in. I'm winning this game.
I'm pretty sure, this is not 100%, but I think I heard this, that in Carey Price's career in the playoffs, he hasn't lost a game when he's gotten 3 goals or more of goal support.
Yeah, I think I saw that. He has like, it's either that he hasn't lost or he hasn't.
You give him the goal support and you're gonna win the game.
Yeah.
So that's what they got to do.
Any predictions for tonight?
No predictions for me. Just it's been a solid series so far. I hope the hockey keeps up.
Yeah, I'll give a prediction on the other series, but one thing I want to say is that I think Luke Richardson, the Habs defense coach, is likely going to take over as the head coach tonight and probably moving forward. And I just admire so much what he's done with the defense, managing the minutes in the top four. It just amazes me because we never have three set pairings on. Always the bottom two guys are always mixed in, and he's just done a phenomenal job. And I hope he can keep it up as the head coach.
Yeah. Last question before we move on to the other series. Are we looking at the Team Canada 2 goaltenders right here with Fleury and Price?
Yeah.
You think? I think so.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see who the third one was because I really thought it was always going to be Binnington, but like he's been playing he played terribly this year.
Like all the young goalies that you thought would maybe slip in, like Carter Hart and Binnington. They're kind of
honestly, like Carter Hart, man.
Yeah,
just a bad year, but I can't see him not bouncing back next year.
I would say Binnington for now is the third goalie, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the next series. Got Islanders Tampa. So initial thoughts, guys.
Well, I just think from watching last game, I'm sorry, Giddy, but Tampa's too good. And you're not one to cheer against Tampa either. So
no, I said before, I'm kind of bandwagoning this series. I honestly, I'm happy with all three. I support the Islanders, I think, the most out of everyone, but I support all three teams besides the Habs that are still remaining. I would be fine if any of them won the cup, and I'd be kind of happy. But I'm a big Tampa guy. I follow all their because I follow all of them on Twitter for the Bucks, so I obviously get all the Lightning stuff too.
Yeah, not the Rays though.
No, screw the Rays. Rays are irrelevant. They're moving to Montreal in 3 years. But anyway, we're gonna I don't know. This series has been tough. I agree with you. The Islanders, they're one of those teams. They're very well coached. Barry Trotz has done a tremendous job with that group. Lou Lamoriello has constructed that team amazingly. But Tampa, they're just they have the most talent in the league by a long shot, I think.
And they're stacked on every level.
They're stacked. Forwards, defense, goalie. It's really last round. I thought
they showed in Game 3 that they could win a 2-1 game too.
Yeah, last round, I thought that the Bruins were the better team than them, talent-wise, and I think a lot of people thought that. But I still believed in the Islanders. Hard work and kind of grind out mentality that I think that they could have. I thought they were going to beat the Bruins and they did, but it only gets you so far because as talented as the Bruins were, Lightning are 5 times more talented than them. They're stacked. It's and credit to Varlamov, who's been he stands on his head for them. He's been playing amazing this playoffs, but letting up 2 goals, that usually wins you a game. And unfortunately that didn't win it for them tomorrow night. And even the goal last night, even the goal that the Islanders scored, that was such a fluky goal. They're even lucky to get that one too.
Yeah, I don't think they score enough to beat them.
Yeah. I don't know. It's disappointing.
I have a bit of an off-topic question for you, Gibby. So I'm sure you've heard all the rumors about Zach Hyman and what's happening with that. So do you truly think that they can re-sign him? And if he walks, who do you think the Leafs will go after, or what type of player?
That's a good question. I've had a lot of thoughts on this, but I think, do I want to keep Zach Hyman? I really do. I really want to, but the number seems pretty high. It seems
is 5.5 to 6.
I think he's going to get stuck.
And is that worth it for a guy who, no disrespect to Zach Hyman, but can he really produce by himself?
Yeah, no. He's an amazing energy player. He back checks hard, plays penalty kill. He dump and chase guy, gets into the corners, and I'm not going to take away all the credit for him, but let's just say he does benefit a lot from playing on Marner and Matthews' line when it comes to points. But when he's on the third line, I'd say with Kerfoot or Engvall or something like that, he's been a really good player. And any team that signs him, they automatically become better by signing Zach Hyman. But $6 million, that's just not happening. Before the season, it was going to be $3-4 million. Now it's all the way up to $6. I don't think we can afford that, and it's unfortunate because
flat cap, especially.
yeah, and it's like even if like we were a team with a lot of cap space, like are we really gonna pay Zach Hyman $6 million? We're already paying like Tavares, Marner, Nylander, Matthews like all this money. Like no, we're not.
I mean, if you had the cap space, I think.
But I really think that a lot of our forwards are going to be gone next season. I saw this thing for the expansion drafts because now we have 3 forwards eligible for expansion because we re-signed Spezza. But a lot of people are saying that we're just going to that we are going to trade Kerfoot so he doesn't get picked and we at least get the asset back for him, and then we would technically only have 1 forward available for taking.
And he's like $3 million player, right?
Yeah, because if you trade Kerfoot, then the only eligible players to be taken are Engvall and Spezza's like if you're the Kraken, you're not taking Spezza, and he doesn't want to go there anyway. He said he's retiring. He said he's retiring if he's not a Leaf. Yeah. So it'd have to be like Engvall or Dermott that they pick. But you said who I'd like want them to sign. There's been a lot of like Blake Coleman discussion. It's pretty much just the same stuff every single year that the Leafs need to sign people. It's like anyone that's born in Ontario, you were a Leaf fan growing up, play for the Leafs. Blake Coleman, Barclay Goodrow, Brandon Saad are some names that come to mind. Ovechkin.
Is Ovechkin leave? He can't, right?
I don't think Ovechkin's leaving. He's not a great fit for the Leafs. I don't think.
I don't even know no way he comes to the Leafs.
He's not going.
No, but like I think for sure he's going to stay. But I'm just so curious what his contract's going to look like.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then another Leaf that I think, or another player that I think could become a Leaf might be Mikael Granlund, because he was close to coming to the Leafs last year, and
then they made the playoff.
He decided to re-sign, but I think he regrets that decision now, and I think he might come to the Leafs. So interesting offseason. I don't know. But
one thing I was hearing about on like podcasts and stuff is just how like a few years ago when all the really good RFAs like Marner, Rantanen, Point, they were all re-signing, and just looking back on that, like how really badly the Leafs like screwed up. And I know Kyle Dubas is a smart guy, but like how like Marner signs for what is he at 10.9 a year or something like that?
Yeah.
And then 6 days later, Rantanen signs for 9.5. And is Marner better than Rantanen? I don't know.
He's better than Rantanen, but like, yeah, the money.
I don't think it's right.
How much did Aho get?
Aho got 8. My God, the Habs offered.
We should have had him. We offer sheeted him so low.
Too low, 8.45, and the Hurricanes can't afford anything. I don't know. Dougie Hamilton's long gone from there.
Oh, another Leaf. Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah, it's been for
we should have offered him 9 and gotten him.
Oh my God, 8. I think we should have. Obviously, it would have been a high offer. And
I started a little thing,
but if they offered him almost 10, that would have been like still a good deal, because we had the money and we still have the money. But yeah, I don't know.
I started a little rant there. Got some PTSD from Aho, the offer sheet. By the way, another thing that makes the Habs the worst franchise in the league. It's a known thing. You don't offer sheet someone. Mark Bergevin.
You know Shea Weber got offer sheeted when he was on Nashville?
That's a long time ago. It's a known thing. Anyway.
People should do it more.
Anyway, do we have
any last remarks
on the Islanders? I don't know how we got here.
Tampa in 6.
Islanders in 7. We got this, boys.
Yeah, I think Tampa in 6 too.
Yeah, Tampa's probably good. But I think we should transition here to the NBA playoffs that are probably now the weirdest playoffs in recent memory, because I really couldn't, like, if I had a gun to my head and someone said, you have to tell me the NBA champion right now, I honestly couldn't give you a straight answer, because everyone's either hurt or not good.
Or Chris Paul on COVID list.
Yeah, so let's start there. So the only team that has advanced right now to the conference finals is the Phoenix Suns, who I am personally cheering for in the playoffs, because I predicted them to be my champion as a wild pick before. But now their chances kind of seem a little sketchy without Chris Paul because he tested positive for COVID and he is out indefinitely. I read somewhere it could be 14 days. And
they're cheering for a Game 7.
Oh yeah, they're definitely cheering for a Game 7. I think he can come back some point in the Western Conference Finals if it goes maybe like 6 games, 7 games. But honestly, without Chris Paul, the Suns could still probably be like the Kawhi-less Clippers.
I don't know, man. Guess what? I was waiting for Pandemic P to just be terrible, and Playoff P, man.
Playoff P.
It was 1 game, but wow.
2 games, actually. But yeah, last game was even more incredible.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And maybe a little bit on the Bucks Nets series. Very interesting. My finals pick for the Bucks, and it's been a good series. Durant going off 1 game. Giannis.
Man, I don't understand. Giannis, what is wrong with his free throw shooting? Why does he?
We'll get to the free throw shooting with players in the league because this is just.
I know he's a bad free throw shooter, but why is his routine so long? How does that make him?
Yeah,
better?
You see Harden
probably just gets in. Yeah, Harden's like, what are you
doing?
Come
on, man, shoot.
It doesn't. I feel like when you're standing at the line, the longer you wait, the more it gets in your head, right?
Yeah, the more you overthink
an open shot straight ahead of you, like 15 feet. I don't know how long it is, but
I would trust Noah more to make a free throw than
I would trust myself. I would trust Russell, not Giddey, but I would trust myself and Russell to make a free throw.
You saw what Kawhi did when we had him. He would step away from the line only when the ref was ready to pass him the ball, steps up to the line, and makes it. Giannis is there for like 45 seconds waiting for the ball.
He's doing a fake shot without the ball.
It's honestly,
the ball.
It's not even his basketball capabilities anymore. It's honestly all mental. And I think the 10-second
capabilities.
The 10-second violation thing is just, I think it's in his head now because now he just keeps thinking about it and he's like,
he's really got to, after the season, he's got to.
I don't know, but
that free throw thing.
But talking more about the series itself, this is like, I expected the series to go 6 or 7, but the way that it's gone is just not the way that I thought it would. The Bucks, to me, they just don't look like a good team. I'm like kind of like, the East is so weird. The team that I like the most right now, like,
Hawks.
It's the Hawks, but like, and we'll talk about that in a bit, but
because no one on their team is injured, that's good.
Yeah, but I like the Nets, obviously, but no Kyrie and Harden that just doesn't look like James Harden. And like, Kevin Durant didn't look good last night either, even though his stat line might just say he took 1,000,000 shots.
Who's winning Game 7?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I go Bucks just because they're my finals prediction. It's 1 game. Obviously, anyone can win. But, I go Bucks.
Yeah, they're my finals prediction, too. I had them versus Phoenix, and I really liked how they looked against the Heat, obviously. They swept them. They killed them in every game except for Game 1. But I really, like, for how bad this Nets team should be right now, like, that Game 5 was unexcusable. I don't care how many ridiculous shots Kevin Durant made. Giannis misses a free throw. We already talked about that. He misses a clutch free throw. He bobbles the ball to lose the game away. He just I don't understand it. They just haven't looked like a good team.
Durant was just like the best player in the planet.
Yeah, that's why the Nets are going to win Game 7 because they have Kevin Durant.
I think the Nets are going to win too. That'd be my opinion because I just don't like the way
Durant plays like that. There's nothing they could have done.
I know. No, there is, because what they should have done is James Harden was a liability the entire game. He was brutal, offensively and defensively. And Mike Budenholzer, who I think is an awful coach and should be fired at the end of the season.
His job depends on
the only way that I think he shouldn't get fired is if they win the NBA championship. Even if they make the finals, I think he should get fired because with the amount of talent, they have so much more talent than not obviously than the Nets fully healthy, but majority of the teams in the league, they have one of the most unreal, never seen before players in NBA history, and they're not attacking James Harden when he's on one leg and can't even play defense. They're trying to go after Kevin Durant, they're trying to go after Joe Harris. not James Harden, who's just an offensive liability you could just drive past.
Yeah, like I didn't watch all of Game 5, but I just heard one thing that just kind of summed up the game for the Bucks. Like they had Giannis a switch on Harden, and he was posting him up, and instead of taking him to the net because he's
fadeaway,
he took a fadeaway.
And that was at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's a stupid shot. It's stupid coaching, and I'll get into another stupid coach right now. But anyway, I think Nets in 7 just because I trust Kevin Durant more than I trust Giannis Antetokounmpo and Mike Budenholzer. But speaking of another stupid coach, Doc Rivers, you're an idiot, man. Like he's. Why is Joel Embiid like 30 feet from the basket? He's standing at like the 3-point line half the game. He's like 7'2". He's enormous. He was gonna win MVP, I think, until he got hurt. Why is he taking threes? Why is he taking fadeaways? Drive.
I don't understand how anyone can guard that guy in the paint. Like
no one can. It's the point.
Physical freak, Joel Embiid. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about that Game 5 for the Hawks because that was a ridiculous comeback.
Memes too good, man.
The Atlanta redemption. They always choke the games. They're always the one choking the games. And finally, Atlanta sports, they come back. So
yeah,
maybe this is the Falcons, Braves fans. Maybe this is a new turning point for the city. No more choking.
The Braves 1 game away from the World Series last year.
Yep, 3-1 lead. But, I really like the Hawks. They're just a fun team. I hated Trae Young before the season started, and then I drafted him in fantasy. Really, I didn't want to, but I drafted him, and then I watched a lot of Hawks this year, and Trae Young's a fun player, man. He's just
I don't understand how you couldn't like him before.
You don't. He's like.
What did he do to you?
I just didn't like his style of play. I said Trae Young.
Not liking Cole Caulfield.
I said before this season, I said Trae Young will never be on a winning team in his life. His team will never win if he's the best player. And they're winning, and they're playing tonight as we're recording this. They're 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think they're going to win, even though I don't know if they're going to win tonight. I think they're going to win the series because I want to talk about one specific player. Joel Embiid sucked in Game 4. He was awful at the end of Game 5. But there's one player, and I think you know who I'm about to say, who I've been defending for a very long time. And I think that he's one of the best defenders in the league, in my opinion. But Ben Simmons, you suck, man. Like, you have no offensive game.
I hope the Sixers are watching this.
I legit think
tearing into them.
And I'm awful at basketball. I think I have not that far away. If I was his size and his build, I don't think I'd have that much of a worse offensive game than Ben Simmons. Because, oh my God, he can't do anything. Anything. He can't shoot the ball to save his life. He just gets clamped when he tries to, drive to the rim. And now teams know when he drives to the rim, just hack him, just foul him, send him to the line. 4 of 15 from the line last game. That's like, I think I might be able to shoot 4 of 15 from
Maybe.
the line.
I'm not going to lie, though. I really thought you were going to say Kevin Herter. I just did. But yeah,
that's Russ's long lost brother, Kevin Herter. That's
why I thought that.
Any other series we want to touch up on?
Let's just do a quick prediction. Bucks Nets. Who you got?
Yeah, I said before I got Bucks just because I predicted them.
Noah has Nets.
1 game.
Nets.
I got Nets too. Hawks Sixers. Hawks.
I'm going Sixers.
Okay, I can see.
I got Hawks and they win the next game tonight.
Yeah, they win tonight. All right, and then Phoenix is already there, and then the battle of the injury series because apparently Donovan Mitchell might not even play tonight for the Jazz either. So it's going to be Rudy Gobert versus Paul George. Who do you got?
Can I predict that Rudy Gobert's going to hit a 3 tonight? No, I'm just joking. Give me the Clippers, but they're not winning tonight in 7.
In 7?
Yeah, I got Nuggets in 7.
Too bad the Nuggets aren't in.
Oh, sorry, the Jazz. I get those two confused all the time.
They're kind of the same team.
I don't know
in my
why.
opinion. They're kind of the same. I actually know exactly what you're talking about. I'm going to go Clippers in 6. I think they win tonight. And I think that sums up us for NBA. Before we end season 1 of the Lunch Lads podcast and go on summer break, I'm going to do a little Blue Jays rant. All right. So the Blue Jays, they are, as of recording right now, they have lost 4 straight games, just got swept by the Yankees, and it's brutal. It's brutal right now. And we're wasting a very, very talented team. We haven't had this close to a talent of a team since 2015 with Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion. This team, honestly, this lineup might be more complete than that team. And that's a really bold statement, but I honestly think they are. The pitching staff, that was a major question going into the year. In my opinion, I think the starting pitching has been very good. I think they've been very solid this year. They haven't cost us many games. Robbie Ray has looked good. Hyunjin Ryu, he's been a little underwhelming recently, but he's been very good. And Manoah has looked good since coming up. The pitching's looked good. Now, this is where I'm going to rank. It comes down to 2 things. The bullpen and Charlie Montoya. They both suck, honestly. And there's people defending both sides.
Remember when the bullpen had the best ERA in the AL?
Yeah, that was not that long ago. So you can make big cases for both sides here. Who's to blame? You can make a case for the bullpen saying, oh, Montoya's awful managing the bullpen. He puts in people at the wrong times. He's just awful, horrible game management. And you can make the case for the bullpen, or for Montoya saying, oh, it's not my fault. The bullpen sucks. Everyone gets hurt. This isn't my fault. I'm doing what I can with the guys I'm given. Guess what? I'm blaming both of you, and I'm blaming Ross Adkins for not putting together a better bullpen with more pieces to
you
pitch.
Just can't. The guys they're throwing out to finish the last few innings of games. I know everyone's
I'm not confident in a single one.
But you can't trust any of them.
The only one that you can trust is Jordan Romano. That's the only person.
You know what? I'm losing trust in him too.
Yeah, he just blew a game the other night. That's our one good pitcher, and he just looked bad the other day. And Carl Edwards Jr. just goes on 60-day IL. Dolis just gets put on 10-day IL. As much as I hate Dolis, at least he could pitch. But
I might have to go in and bring back my knuckle curve.
Yeah, Sully, maybe you have to go in. Honestly, just put Vladdy in there. Vladdy could do anything. Maybe it'll boost his case over Shohei a little more because he could pitch too. But I think Springer, I think, should come back within the next week. He's looked good in his Buffalo. So the lineup, it's all coming together. In the starting pitching, it's looked good. But I'm calling out Ross Atkins. Just get us 2-3 more bullpen guys, please. We'll get the guys back that are getting hurt. Dolis will come back eventually. Merriweather's on the 60-day IL. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. He'll come back eventually. Everyone will eventually come back. Just get us a few more players. We have an easy stretch coming up. We play the Orioles this weekend. We play the Mariners. We play the Tigers soon. Those are all very easy teams, and we should win those games and get our wins back and get back into some playoff contention. But we need a bullpen to do that, and I hope he makes a trade before it's too late, or I think
it would, just with the way the offense is playing before we finish up, it would just be a wasted season if the pitching really helps.
They're wasting an MVP season. Vladdy is right now, I think, the favorite for MVP. I know you can argue that with Ohtani, but in my opinion, I've just watched Vladdy the entire season, and he's amazing. You're wasting an MVP season right now from Vladdy.
Along with all the other good seasons.
Bichette's amazing. Semion's been amazing. Teoscar's been amazing. Grichuk's had his ups and downs. Gurriel's heating up. And Springer's coming back. You're wasting a perfectly amazing team on this awful bullpen. We lead the league in games blown after 7 innings. That's my rant. Charlie Montoya shouldn't be the Blue Jays manager anymore.
And I don't think he will be for very long.
I don't think so either. But that wraps up season 1 of the Lunch Lads podcast. It's been a lot of fun, I would say. Yeah. Maybe if anything,
pushing for the cup.
Yeah, everyone. I know Noah, Russell, and Ryan. They're all going to camp. I will be around. I'm going away, but I'll be around. So if anything crazy happens, if there's games,
Carey Price hoisting.
Yeah, if there's Game 7 Stanley Cup and overtime winner, Game 7 Stanley Cup, I might record an emergency podcast and open it. Maybe there'll be some special guests on it. Who knows? But that wraps up season 1. Thank you all for supporting us. We'll be back next year at the start, probably, I'd say, early September, late August. Thank you guys for supporting the Lunch Lads podcast, and see you next year.
Peace.